Yo, what is up, boys? It's Jayth. Welcome to the newest series that I'm gonna start doing. Where instead of just running my highlights, I'm gonna tell you guys a crazy story or an experience I've had that either you find funny or just really interesting. And the first one is going to be about the time where I was literally in a car chase with one of the most dangerous gangs in North America. And they were saying they were trying to kill us, and it seemed like they were trying to kill us. And it was one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me. I'm not gonna say what gang or even like where I live, just cause I don't like. That's how kind of freaked out I am about it. But yeah, let me give you some context before I start. So this is in high school, and we were on our way home from a graduation party, and I was the designated driver, which I probably have to explain what that means because I have a Fortnite audience, but I was the one person that didn't drink at the party, so I could drive home. And I had about 11 people in my car, and my car probably only fit like seven, and six of them were girls. So we used to do this thing called, we called it Mean Street, and we would drive down our main street of the town, and we would yell insults at people and just shit to piss them off and get a laugh out of it. But we had rules to that game, and one of the rules was no racism, like no being homophobic, and the last rule was you couldn't do it to someone who was in a moving car, because then they had the ability to chase you, as we'll find out. But if you did it to someone walking, they couldn't really do anything. They might yell back, but like whatever, you know. So we were on our way home from this party, and my friend rolls down the window at a red light next to this car, and all he says to him was, "Nice shit car." That was it. A simple little insult, and we laughed, and we drove off, and he went straight, we took a left. So we're going down this service road, and all of a sudden that same car comes whipping next to me on the wrong side of the road with his window down, and he's literally like flashing a knife at us, and he's like, pull the fuck over, get the fuck out of the car. Like, what'd you say to me? Like, you want to talk shit? Like, get the fuck out of the car, pull over. And I'm like, bro, chill. Like, I'm gonna like, yo, chill out, dude. Like, we didn't mean it like that. Like, it's not that serious, blah blah blah. And at this point, I didn't realize how serious this guy was taking it. And so he's like, nah, like, pull the fuck over right here. Like, pull over. He's like flashing his knife, and he's like kind of hinting that he has like a gun, maybe. Like, he was like pulling his sweatshirt up and shit. And I was like, dude, chill, man. Like, we don't want anything. Like, we don't want any more trouble, dude. Like, we're sorry for what we said. And this is when he starts to turn in front of our car to like completely try to run us off the road and like literally crash into us. And I forgot to mention that I had a broken left wrist when this was happening, so like I was struggling to fucking baby driver my way out of this situation. So now the girls are flipping out. My friend is like, we're all kind of flipping out, and I'm talking to this guy while he's going on the other side of the road. And he's like, you know, like 10 minutes into this, we're debating on whether to call the cops. This guy is still tailing us. He's still on the other side of the road. I've had to hit reverse about like 6 times now just to avoid hitting him. And then I'd put it in forward again and drive around him, and he would do the same thing on repeat. And my friend's dad was a cop who was in the car, and I was literally like, yo, I'm driving to your house, like, tell your dad to be fucking outside with his with his gun. Like, this is fucked. Like, these guys want to kill us. And they were literally saying that. And my friend was like, nah, like, we can't do that. I'll be in like so much fucking trouble. And I'm like, all right, like, we can call the cops. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking I have 11 underage like teenagers in the car, and I have too many people in the car, so now I'm gonna get like multiple tickets and consequences with the cops. So we're trying to avoid that. But it literally got to the point where it got to the point where like we had to call the cops. Like it was 15 minutes in. This guy was threatening our lives, like verbally and physically, by trying to run us off the road with the car. And I was like, like call the cops. Like we have to call the cops. And as we get onto the phone with the cops, we pull up to this red light, and it seemed as if he stopped behind us in the road, so I didn't blow the red light. Looking back, I should have just blown the red light because of the circumstances that we were in. And it looked like he would stop, and nobody saw him get out of his car. And he comes running up to the passenger side of the car, and my friend had his window open for some dumb fucking reason. And he goes to throw a punch at my friend, and I step on the gas, and he swings his arm so hard and punches the like inside window part of the door, and we literally hear his arm fucking crack. Like he must have punched my car while I was going like 20 miles an hour, which might not seem a lot, but if you imagine a car going 20 and you throw a fucking punch into the side of the door with the window open, we hear this crack and we just speed off. And we're on the phone with the cops now, and they're asking us where we are, and we're like describing where we are, and we're like, we're being chased, blah blah blah. And by that point, luckily enough, we were able to just be like, he's gone now. Like we don't need any help. Like he's gone. He stopped chasing us, because after he got out and threw that punch and we sped off, he finally stopped after like 15 minutes. And so the cops never ended up coming. We drove like 2 towns over to make sure that we avoided them. I dropped everyone off at the house that they were going. I didn't even stay there. I was so freaked out. Like I went home. I had to take all the stickers off the car, the license plate off. We parked the car in a spot where like you wouldn't be able to recognize, or like you wouldn't be able to see it driving down the street, because like we were kind of driving away from him close to my house, so if he wanted to search like for that car, he probably could have. I literally didn't sleep that night at all. And we later did some research, and one of the guys in the back seat we recognized from this dude that graduated like 3 years earlier than us. And through recognizing him, we found out that the dudes driving were in this like local gang that operates like 1 or 2 towns over from us, and like it's very, very serious and violent gang. And we found their Instagram profiles even, and they had pictures of them with guns and like, you know, other shit. So luckily like no one was hurt, and I honestly would give myself a 10 out of 10 baby driver driving skills. Like maneuvered that shit so well. But I did not sleep for about a week straight, and I did not drive that kid in my car for like a year straight, the kid that yelled that shit. And it was probably one of the most scary moments of my life. I hope you guys enjoyed this story or this video, and let me know like what I can improve on in this, because this is like my first time trying this. But I'm gonna have a bunch of these, and I'm gonna crank these out with some really good stories and experiences. So just look out for them, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.
30 AR. 7 builds. I'm dropping a little bit. They're hard fighting. 2v2, 2v2. They have RPG, they have RPG. My bad. On height. Chopped him. Let's fucking go, baby.